We've all heard the buzzword authentic you. But what if you struggle to understand it or step into it? Then, if that is you, you want to stay tuned and watch my next 5 videos. I explore lessons from my personal life that I have learned that can help you step into your authentic self. Keep watching. Welcome back. If this is your first time stumbling on my YouTube channel, then go ahead and hit the subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I drop a new video. My name is Joan Nwosu and I'm an award-winning coach and author of the book I Rise, the 10 Secrets to Getting Up When Life Knocks You Down. I have helped hundreds of people achieve success in every area of their life, and I truly believe that everyone deserves and can have a successful life. In this video series on discovering your authentic you, I will be sharing 5 lessons that will help you go back and embrace your authentic you. You see, I was lost for almost 40 years of my life, but eventually, through a lot of hard work and coaching, I was able to find my way home. And here I am to share with you some of my discoveries. But before we get started, let's just go way back. From the day you are born, the journey to self begins. For most of us, our formative years start with our parents and immediate family. We pick up behaviors and patterns and experiences that mold us and form the essence of our being. Our authentic self never really lives us, but it's easy to get distracted and disconnected. Losing touch with your authentic self is quite common and happens to most people. At the end of the day, the goal is to always come back to your core, to your centered place of authenticity. That way you can live effortlessly and unapologetically. Sometimes that journey of reconnection takes you back to your past, and it can be painful and a recollection of who you used to be. So moving on to lesson 1. The odd one out. Don't be afraid to be different. Why can't you just be like everyone else? This was a popular reprimand in most homes growing up, and in my home too. You probably grew up believing that being different was a bad thing, that something was wrong with you because you had a different way of thinking from everyone else around you. This probably showed up at school, at the playground, at family gatherings. Your mere existence seemed to be different. This belief has most likely gone on to manifest in multiple spheres in your life. You see, the world loves conformity. It's so comfortable. I get it. Why stick out like a sore thumb when you can hide in the sea of sameness? Why risk being called out for doing things that you feel strongly about? Why allow people to use you as an example of how not to be? It may seem like the best way to exist, a state where everyone is comfortable, where you don't threaten people with your words or with your actions. But I wish that were true. I wish I could tell you that being in the sea of sameness was okay. But it's not. The very things that make you different are your identity. They are what makes you unique. You were not created to be a replica of someone else. You are unique, not different. You have gifts that no one else has. Keeping your true self away from the world robs the world of the gifts that you are carrying with you. You were created to stand out, not to fit in. I know you may have heard this before, yet any person who sets out on a different path is labeled and ostracized. How dare you be different? It makes everybody else uncomfortable and they're not quite sure how to deal with you. They stare at you funny, maybe they ridicule you, they pretend you're not a big deal. But deep down inside, they wish they were you. They wish they had something, just something that made them stand out. So people don't forget them in 5 minutes after meeting them. If you watch children when they're young, you can tell their personality from a very young age. They freely express themselves in their unique way, not caring how other babies do theirs. It's a you do you world in babyland. They scream for food as loudly as their voices can carry and have no hesitation rejecting things that don't meet their desires. No two babies are the same, and surprisingly, the world learns to accept it. The world adjusts to their uniqueness. If you try to raise all babies the same, you definitely will not win. You have to adapt to their way until they become toddlers, and then the cycle begins and doesn't end until we leave the world. As we grow older and become more aware of ourselves, we start to wonder why we're so different. We're scolded by our parents for being different. The same uniqueness that made us special has now become a stain we desperately need to wash off. This not only applies to our differences in personality, but also in our physical appearance as well. We are forced to dress a certain way, look like the models in magazines, behave with society-defined decorum, and progress through life in a clearly defined stage. Any attempt to derail from any of those is met with harsh disapproval and possibly punishment too. And so we start to lose a sense of who we are, embracing the constant battle of trying to fit in when we were created to stand out. It should be celebrated, and you should not shy away from it. Finding and loving you is the only way to win. The moment you begin to stand true to who you are, the world starts to bend to accept and accommodate you. Being someone you're not is like wearing underwear that's 3 sizes too small. You try to get used to it, but it remains uncomfortable. You may forget once in a while, but when you try to make certain moves, it reminds you that it's still there. It pulls in places that hurts. It cuts in sensitive places. It limits your blood circulation. It takes away the sprint in your steps. And most importantly, it chips away at your confidence. The only way to get out of this rut is to embrace the idea of oddness being a great thing and not a disease like society has led us to believe. Only then can true freedom be enjoyed. You are allowed to have an opinion. You were created with your unique thoughts for a reason, so embrace it. Trying to fit in doesn't help you, and surely it doesn't benefit the world. The sooner you embrace your oddness, the sooner you can start to live the life that you were destined for. Harness it and stop apologizing for being who you are or thinking the way that you do. Can you imagine a world filled with one color? What a boring world that would be. So, I want to encourage you to embark on the journey of self-discovery. You'll be thankful that you did. Shakespeare said, "To thine own self be true. You are perfect the way you are. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." That's my first lesson. Stay tuned as I continue on lesson number 2 on discovering and embracing your authentic self. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to share, like, and also comment. Let me know some of the challenges and the struggles that you also face in trying to be your authentic self. See you soon.